Thursday. It's getting difficult what to ask for. You know, I meant.
We've even got you around a fire now with the camera.
What else can we do? I meant. I know it's a line, but the extraordinary is ordinary here. Yeah. It really is. I meant leopards every sighting. We had this big incombe, if I get it right, white rhino, big male, 2 tons, did the dance for us and the whole bit, and hung around. So I mean, that's something where you don't see that often. We feel in this part of the Lowfelds, but and all amongst a big herd of buffalo. So all happening there at Big Dam tonight, and and of course the lions. I think we're on camera. If I remember the Jeep with the antenna going by at one point. And that male was having a good feed as well. So just fabulous. We're just having a great time.
No, it has been. And what Sandy said just now, you never leave Juma with. I mean, she said the first part of the sentence I was going to say, you never leave it permanently. You always either come back, and of course one of the benefits now is that you can come on drive even if you're elsewhere in the world. And you guys have been coming on Wild Earth drives. I mean, we've spoken about it obviously this morning and so on, but you've been coming on drive now for
I think
a while, more than a year.
Almost, about since it's opened. She's a full-time photographer, and she's got her dark room, her digital studio, and we've actually converted a monitor into a TV screen and all that, and we've got Wild Earth running every day. So, and it's just enjoyable. There's never 2 shows the same, of course, and that's the beauty of. For me, it reminds me of 1950-ish. I'm a bit aged here, so they say wise and old, but I think I'm the old part. It's like 1950s television where they broadcast as black and white. You had no idea what was going on. There were no retakes. There was no tapes. It's just there and personable, and that's I think what's so exciting about what this whole Wild Earth is doing. I mean, I can't say enough about it and how good it's going to be. It can only get better over time.
Yeah, no, it's been nice to hear your view and things on. Just a quick question, I thought about it after we spoke this morning. You mentioned that you were, in earlier days, I mean, you've got a very interesting history of what you've done as well, but you were involved with the very, very early
conception.
Of the internet with DARPA, before it was even something that was publicly available, and and having seen what's come from what was expected of it back then to what it is now, where we're sitting here and chatting.
Well, in my day, and again, those that really worked down in the trenches and stuff, we don't usually publish books and things like that, how we invented the internet. We were just trying to get a few colleges to send text messages back and forth, just trying to figure out how to send messages in a way. It was, I guess, from my day, it was in the military. It was about survivability of communications. That was what was driving the technology and the innovations. It was really the commercial world that say, hey, I think there's some really neat things we can do here with this. I mean, things like asynchronous communications now. You can send voice over IP. That was not even thought about in my day. Of course, sending video and pictures. I mean, again, it was basically email. That was kind of the first thing that went on. This is the 70s now I'm talking about. And what it's turned into today, where you can push, streaming video to a cell phone. I mean, it's the device is becoming kind of independent. In that, I mean, if you take is that Negroponte, his Being Digital book, it's all about just get the stream out there and let the end device kind of turn it into what the user wants to see. The example I use is American football. You can see it from the quarterback's view, you can see it from the ball's view, whatever you want to see there, the fan's view. I mean, all that's in the stream, and it's really, it builds up its own set of markets over time. So that's the excitement of the times we live in. It's no longer carrier pigeon. It's my old joke. I like carrier pigeon because you get a message and you get a meal. So I mean, I like that. We lose some things, but it was really very early days. Computers were some were still tube-based. You built by the bit in those days. You had to be both a hardware and a software guy. It's really pioneering from a lab perspective, which is, again, I think what you're seeing here. It's pioneering.
We're now pioneering different ways of exploring wildlife and social interaction as well.
And what a mix, really, of out in the bush, and really state-of-the-art technology. I meant, who would have guessed, right? Who would have guessed?
That's awesome.
Well, when we were, this first happened, this was just some chat, as you would, around a dinner table. Wouldn't it be wonderful to get this out to the public and let them see what this is really all about? And one of our favorite sayings is, there's a surprise around every corner. You never know what's going to be standing in front of you.
That's certainly something we put to the test with every corner.
Yeah.
Sandy, just while we're speaking, and again, you gave me a very interesting background as to what you do. You know, when we speak about electronics, like I said, sometimes I've soldered a few sound connections, and they can be a bit messy, but sometimes they work. But you worked in very, very specific space electronics, basically.
Yeah.
But how did you go from that to obviously getting an interest in photography, and then making photography now sort of a full-time career hobby, if that's the word?
Way back in the 1980s, it's funny, kind of a funny story, is I got divorced for the first time and became very bored very fast. And I was looking for a hobby to keep my time occupied, and I was raising a small child. And I went and bought my first camera. And from there, I just started taking pictures of bugs, flowers, bees, leaves, trees, anything that moved or was in front of me, I started to take pictures of. And from there, it went on through my child's sporting era, and then her high school era, and then it just, in 1995, when we hit Juma for the first time, that just did it to me.
Yeah.
I've always had a love for cats.
Oh yeah, you're in the right place.
And then when I saw the big cats, that was it. It's like, we always feel like when we leave a piece of us here. It's like our hearts are always here.
Very spiritual here.
Yeah.
It's a special
Yeah,
place.
we always tell folks at home, it's a spiritual experience you will never ever understand unless you get the opportunity to go.
Nothing like that.
Speaking of your daughter, sorry, you said she might be watching tonight. Did you manage to get hold of her?
Jennifer and her friend Rita out there.
How's it
Thanks for taking care of the
watching
animals.
our animals.
A little internet joke. They're taking care of our dog, who's probably on the internet watching. So there's a little twist of that old joke. So thanks for all that, and thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight. And the real pleasure giving us a few moments to try to break the camera. I really appreciate it.
And well, and unless you want to go, I wasn't.
No, we're fine.
We're
fine.
It's just always nice to know who's watching as well. And you guys, and again, sometimes I'm a little bit almost like I should be embarrassed about it. I guess I'm not as active as I could be in terms of on the social network and so on and so on. I try and get as many images out there, and I obviously spend a fair amount of time, being very active, I guess, on the drive and the walks and so on. But I'm a bit of a computer dinosaur like that. But are you quite interactive as well with many of the other people that are on drives with us and so on?
We've done a little blogging. I'd say we're probably not at that level, because we're more into the instantaneous streaming.
Yeah, just enjoying it.
Because again, the time difference is a factor there for us, coming from the East Coast in the USA. I think it's a 9:30 drive. It's 9:30 East Coast time in the morning for your afternoon drive. I'm sure there's some diehards that do the morning drive. That's pretty dark in the evenings. So we don't do as much blogging as we should, but we're slowly learning the network, and we're starting to see some email traffic back and forth. And there's a community that's just kind of building up out there in cyberspace. And we'll just have to see how that goes over time. I don't get all my emails out either. Okay, it's tough in this world. It's my standard thing there is computers are probably 400 times faster than when I first started, but I still type the same speed. So as a result,